Hey, what's up guys, it's Dino from Ather Gaming and I'm back with you guys with a brand new video. But before we get into that guys, I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our Patreon members as well as all of our Discord members. Those links are in the description if you guys would like to join. But yeah guys, so recently the new ban list dropped. You guys know that a lot has happened. And yeah, so I'm going to be giving you my updated True King Dino deck profile. The deck's not dead guys. Yeah. Alright guys, so starting off with the deck profile, we have, of course, the standard triple copies of your Soul Eating Oviraptor. As long as this card is at 3, you will play it at 3. I don't have to explain this card at all, really. You know, like it literally does everything. It's Armageddon Knight and Stratos in the card together. Those cards are both at 1, so that should really say something about this deck. OCG hit this card to 1, so yeah, it's a very, very strong card. Next, moving on with the dinosaurs, we have triple copies of Miscellaneousaurus as well. So this card recently came back to 3, I think just in the previous ban list, but because of the type of dino deck that I was playing, Miscellaneousaurus wasn't as easy to incorporate. But now it is really easy to incorporate into a True King Dino deck. It provides you protection as well as a very good follow-up play and an extender. It is a fire, so it synergizes very well with everything in the deck. Once again, this card is also just a mandatory card to be playing at 3. Continuing off, you play triple copies of Baby Ceratosaurus, as well as 1 copy of your Petit Pteranodon. So guys, these cards are all very, very mandatory in the True King variant. Although guys, I'm not sure if you guys saw the ban list, but Diagram recently went to 1, meaning it does kind of hurt because now you will have more hands, more instances where these cards aren't live. But for the hands that you see Diagram, you want to see one of these cards in your hand, because usually you can burn through all 3 of them, or maybe all 4 of them even, depending on how good your hand is. So yeah, you have to play all those. They all just give you free special summons. Then for the last small dinos you play 1 copy of Giant Rex, because it's literally just the best level 4 dino that's not Oviraptor or Miscellaneous. And then you play 1 copy of Megalo Smasher. This is just because it's a level 4 water dinosaur. If you guys don't have Megalo Smasher for whatever reason, Cabazals works. And if you guys don't have Cabazals, you can even play a card like Hydrogeddon or something, right? You just need the level 4 water dinosaur. And yeah, so really cool. So yeah, guys, moving on, you play, for the big dinosaurs, you play 2 copies of Conductor, as well as 1 copy of Overtex, and the recently limited 1 copy of Pankratops. So the 2 copies of Conductor and the Overtex and the Pankratops are all very, very, they all serve their own purposes. This isn't one of the lists where you can play double Overtex, or sorry, if you would like, you could play double Overtex, but it's a brick at that point, and when you go first, you don't want to be seeing double Overtex because this deck doesn't play dangers or, you know, like that many draw cards to be able to, you know, play with that many bricks in your hand. So yeah, that's why you only play the 1 Overtex. 2 Conductor, I really wish I could play this card at 3, but if you play it at 3, then sometimes you draw multiples going first and it's a brick, so that, you know, you don't want that. The Pankratops, it's just always been in this deck because of this card right here, Petit Pteranodon. It can summon a level 4 or higher dinosaur from your deck when it's destroyed by card effect. So that can bring up the Pankratops, and then it gives you a free pop. You can actually also, if you already have Pankratops in grave, you can revive it back with Oviraptor and pop another card, which is also pretty cool. But yeah, so those are that. Next off, for the final dinosaur you play 1 copy of Dracalo. This card's fantastic. It's a level 1 tuner. It literally synergizes perfectly with the deck. It's fire, it's dinosaur. You just don't really like drawing this card too much, but even if you do draw it, you can play through it because of the cards that you play in the deck. So yeah, this card can be a brick, but other times it can be completely fine in your hand. So guys, that's for the dinos. Continuing on with the supporting engine, of course, as I mentioned, it's a True King Dino build, so you play your True Kings. Triple copies of your Agnimazod and double copies of your Barastos. And then the recently unbanned, they freed my boy, they brought back 1 copy of LITHO. So all the True Kings, they have their own effects. I'm pretty sure you guys should know this by now. But Agnimazod, you can destroy 2 monsters, including a fire, to summon it from your hand. Barastos, destroy 2 monsters, including a water, to summon it from your hand. LITHO, destroy 2 monsters, including an earth, to summon it from your hand. And they all gain their respective effects if you use 2 of their attribute. 2 fires, you get to banish a card on the field, or you get to banish a card on the field or in the graveyard. 2 waters, you get to banish 2 spell traps on the field or the graveyard. And then 2 earths, you get to banish 3 monsters from your opponent's extra deck. That's why this card got banned, guys. So yeah, the reason why you kind of have to play the Barastos now, even though I've seen some builds try to play cards like Mariamne to search this. The deck isn't turbo LITHO. Like, if if you can, you search Litho, of course, right? But you don't want to rely on the Litho, because then if you play cards just to search the Litho, then you're just gonna break on those cards, because if you draw too many of those, then you still can't play. But once again, in my opinion, guys, this is the perfect juking lineup, because you play 6 jukings, you play the best one in Litho, the second best one in Agnimazad, and the 2 fillers in Barastos, because he's still pretty good, and he's actually the reason why you play your Megalo Smasher X right here, because it's a water target that you can search out with Overraptor or special out with the Miscellaneous. So yeah, that's how you play them. They also give you some nutty extra deck monsters, as you guys already know. So that's it for the actual engine cards. Next off into the hand traps, you play triple copies of Ash and double copies of Effect Veiler. So Ash is definitely a necessity in the deck because it's a fire, meaning it synergizes with the fire truking very, very well. So yeah, it's just going to stay. Plus, it's also the best hand trap. It covers the most ground. Veiler is just kind of in here as a filler spot. As the meta is more defined, we will find out what decks are better. For example, if decks like Spirals become the big thing, then this might be substituted for Drolls. But, like, it's really just based on the meta. Plus, Veiler, I also put it in here because it's a really accessible card that a lot of people, can play. So, yeah, it's there for that. It's a level 1 tuner, meaning you can normal summon it and do some cute stuff. It is a non-dinosaur for your double evolution pill, and yeah, these cards really, really good. So yeah, those are the 5 cards that you have for going second. You don't want to play too many, or else you brick on them going first. So that's for the monsters, guys. Off into the spells. We're gonna start off with the field spells. You play the 1 Dragonic Diagram. This card recently went to 1, or I mean, it actually just went to 1, and it hurts that it went to 1 because it hurts the consistency of the deck. Once again, that is why you play 6 True Kings, because you actually want to hard draw them now because you can't search them with this. So yeah, that's why you play Diagram, but you still have more copies of Diagram than you think, because along with Diagram, you play supporting cards like triple copies of Lost World, where it still helps you combo if you draw Overraptor. And going second, Lost World is arguably one of the best cards for this whole like archetype. So yeah, that's why you play Lost World. It's just to complement Diagram and to help you play even if you don't see the Diagram. 1 copy of Terraforming because you're playing field spells and you want to see them. 1 copy of Set Rotation because you're playing field spells with different names that you actually want to see both of them. So yeah, that's why you play these, guys. So you have 5 field spells if you're counting, and this is 1 copy of Diagram, this another copy of Diagram, this another copy of Diagram. So you still have 3 diagrams, meaning you still have a pretty good chance of opening it. Continuing on to the spells, we have the dinosaur spells, which are the triple copies of Fossil Egg and double copies of Double Evolution Pill. So Fossil Egg is Fossil Egg, it makes it so all the dinos that you play in your deck all have, you're playing 3 more copies of it if needed. Because you just get them access to your hand. Because Colossus recently got banned, you don't have to worry about drawing too many of these against a deck like that. So that's always fun. And Double Evolution Pill, I've seen some builds play around and play this card at 1 because you can search it, and plus you don't want to draw in multiples, which makes sense. But at the same time, you still want to see this card because it helps you play under cards like Dweller or like whatever the case may be. It helps you play under a lot. Yeah, you definitely don't play 3 in this deck though because it's not as necessary. So yeah, that's it for the dinosaur spells. Then for the last card of the deck, you play 1 copy of Foolish Burial. You're playing a Graveyard Reliant deck, so Foolish Burial is the best spell that you can play ever. So yeah, you can send cards like Overtext to get Pill. You can send cards like Giant Rex. You can send cards like Miscellaneousaurus. You can send cards like just a non-dinosaur and then activate Double Evolution Pill. Like, it's still really, really good for the deck. And yeah, so that's it. So yeah, guys, I played 40 cards in the main, and yeah, now off to the extra deck. For the Xyz monsters, for the rank 4, it's the 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. It is still the best rank 4 in the game. You can, I'm anticipating to be playing in Spirals this format, so Abyss Dweller is very, very good. It literally is like it forces your opponent to pass their turns if you make it against the right decks. 1 copy of Dulka because you have extra deck room and you might as well play Dulka along with Lagia. Lagia is better than Dulka in my opinion in most cases, but sometimes you still want to make Dulka instead because Dulka is 2 negates as opposed to Lagia is 1. And against certain decks like Danger Reliant decks, you might want to make a Dulka instead. And then, Lagia is Lagia. It's Solemn Judgment. I don't have to go into that too much. The last rank 4 is 1 Tornado Dragon. So, yeah, this is just for the back row decks that do exist. You make Tornado Dragon, just pop their cards. It's a really, really situational card compared to these other 3, but it's still really good and it still comes up, and you have the room, so you might as well play it. Next off into the rank 9s. 1 VFD. This is the reason you play this deck, so you can make this card. you guys don't know what this card does, it literally says that your opponent can't activate monster effects at all during their turn. You can also pop cards that your opponent controls or pop monsters your opponent controls to trigger your True Kings as well, meaning you can just plus even more off for that fact. The last rank 9 you play is 1 Enter Blathner. This is just for the rare decks that VFD doesn't touch. For example, more back row reliant decks VFD doesn't really affect. So you would make an Enter Blathner and try to rip an extra card from your opponent's hand. And Enter Blathner is actually a really big like field presence, because if you can keep Enter Blathner on during your opponent's entire turn and get it back during your turn, then you get to banish 2 cards. So really good. That's it for the XYZ monsters. Off to the links. 1 copy of IP. You literally just play it for its pointers, but its actual effect can come up sometimes. But yeah, if you don't have IP, because I understand it does hold a pretty high price, you can always play cards like Beat Cop or cards like Cyframe Lambda or whatever you want. 1 copy of Reaperdocus. It's a dinosaur generic link to, meaning you can link into it and then link it off, and then just load your graveyard with another dinosaur if necessary. You can change the attributes of monsters you control, meaning it helps make cards like Naturia Beast, which you will see later, and it can help change attributes for monsters, so you can summon your appropriate True Kings. The last link 2 you play is Nightmare Phoenix, probably the best link 2 that we have in the game. Every deck should be playing this card. Like, there's literally no excuse that you don't play this card in your deck. So yeah, just out easy back row. It's also a fire monster, meaning you can link into it, pop a back row, then pop it off with your fire True King, and yeah, it's all really fun. The 1 link 3 you play, 1 Nightmare Unicorn. This is usually just link climbing from your Phoenix, because you would make a Phoenix, pop a card, link Phoenix into Unicorn, shuffle a card, and then yeah, it also opens up a down pointer, meaning you get to shuffle a card, you get to discard a card, and you get to get a down pointer. So why not, right? And the 2 link 4s you play is 1 Boral Load and 1 Boral Sword. Boral Load is to out any other problematic cards which you can't really out otherwise, which there aren't that many in the game currently, but if they're there, then you have the Boral Load to deal with them. Boral Sword is like the opposite of Boral Load, where instead of trying to steal an opponent's monster, you just try to kill them outright with it. This deck doesn't really need help with DKing, but having the Boral Sword is still kind of cute, so yeah, that's how you play it. Once again, if you guys don't have these cards, you can always substitute out for, you know, any other cards of your choice, like maybe an Appaloosa, maybe more rank 4s, or whatever you may want. Off the synchros, the level 5s, you play 1 Chunbara. This is just for OTK purposing. Overraptor Conductor is, if your opponent has an open board, 8100 direct, so it's just game if you open it. So yeah, that's how you play that. The next level 5 is 1 Nat Beast. I was talking about this earlier. You can make this with Giant Rex, Alo, and you can turn Alo into an Earth, and then you can proceed to make your Nat Beast. So it's not as powerful in the format anymore because you know, Sky Striker just got the biggest hit that they could have gotten, and a lot of other decks that were spell reliant aren't really playing too many spells now. But Nat Beast, when it comes up, it will be a blow, and this card will win you many games by itself, I guarantee you. Last card in your extra deck, 1 copy of Trish. This card is absolutely bonkers. Like, you get to banish a card in your opponent's field, hand, and graveyard, meaning if your opponent hand traps you or if your opponent phantasmates you and you make a Trish, then you just banish those cards for free and your opponent just loses out on a lot of resources. So the whole idea of making Trish is you get to hit a card from your opponent's hand, and then if your opponent's playing, you know, a like regular monster effect deck, you would use the Trish because level 9 to overlay into DFD, then lock them out of monsters. Or if they're playing a back row deck, you would use the Trish, overlay into this, and hit them for the second card out of their hand. So yeah, cards are really good. So yeah, guys, that's it for the deck profile, and let's get into some combos. Alright guys, so this next combo, you guys already know what the standard Diagram Baby ends you on, so I was going to try to switch it up and introduce Agnimazad as well. So if you open Diagram Baby plus Agnimazad, or the Litho, it doesn't matter because whatever one you don't open you search, then you can end on a very disgusting board, and you guys will see it. So yeah, you're going to start off, activate your copy of Diagram, you're going to use Diagram's effect to destroy your Baby, and you're going to add your Litho. Cool. Baby will trigger, and you're going to summon out your copy of Overraptor. Overraptor's effect will activate, and we'll add your Baby. Now you're going to normal summon Baby, use Overraptor's effect to target Baby to destroy it, and then summon back the other one from your grave. Then Baby will summon back if I can find it, your particular unknown from your deck. Now you can use Litho's effect here because you control 2 Earths. Pop both of them to summon it. And now both the baby's effects will trigger, as well as Litho. So Litho's gonna hit 3 cards from your opponent's extra deck with different names. Meaning every single combo deck just loses at this point. Like, it doesn't matter if you get hand trapped at any point here, because the moment that this card drops and its secondary effect resolves, they lose 3 cards from their extra deck. That, like, it's basically like a better Ghost Reaper. So yeah. So right now the babies are activating their effects. And you're gonna summon out with Baby Ceratosaurus, you're gonna summon out the Baby Ceratosaurus. With Petit Pteranodon, you're gonna summon out the Miscellaneousaurus. Nice. Now you're gonna use the Agnimazad's effect to destroy these 2. Okay, so those 2 are gone. And you're gonna summon it out. Now Baby's effect is gonna activate again. This is why I said, guys, you play the 4 babies, because this turn I happen to use all of them. And you will summon out the Giant Rex. Cool. Now you're gonna link off your Oviraptor and your Giant Rex into your IP Masquerena. Once again, guys, we just use this card for the pointers. Now you can overlay these 2 into VFD. And then you can use your Miscellaneousaurus effect in the grave to banish itself, Giant Rex, as well as any 2 other dinos. I usually like to banish an Oviraptor though, so I don't lose cards that call by the grave later. So you're gonna banish these 4 right here. And you're gonna summon out any level 4 dino. Although summoning cards like Miscellaneousaurus is best, because then you can keep a loaded graveyard for next turn. Alright, cool. So here's your banish zone right there. Now Giant Rex is gonna activate its effect, and it'll summon itself back. Alright? Now you can overlay these 2 into your Evolzar Lagia. So now, guys, what you establish here is you have Calamities turning off all their monster effects. You have Lagia turning off a spell, trap, or summon, which includes Nibiru. So yeah, guys, this is a really, really busted board. And remember, they lost 3 cards from their extra deck because of your Litho. So next turn they have no monster effects. They have 1 spell, trap, or monster effect summon. And then the IP Masquerena can also link off the Lagia once you negated into a Nightmare Unicorn and shuffle another card. So yeah, guys, that's it for the combo, and yeah. Alright, guys, that was it for the deck profile and the combo, guys. Be sure to comment down below what you guys thought about that. Be sure to comment down below how your day was, guys. We like to read those comments, and we love to reply to all of them. We also be sure to like the comments, and be sure to like the video as well if you guys loved the video. And if you guys didn't like the video, be sure to like it anyways. If you guys aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe already. We're almost at 5K, guys. Please let us hit that. And this has been Dollar from Ather Gaming, signing out. Oh!